Welcome to the next video, Creating DataSnap Apache Modules. In the previous video, we've learned how to use app tethering to create a companion app. In this video, we'll create a very simple REST service with only one method returning a list of people. The service will be built using the Embarcadero to DataSnap framework, and the service itself will be packaged as an Apache web server module. The real goal of this video is to show how to use the Delphi strength in creating Apache module, and a very light intro to DataSnap. One of the most awaited Delphi features by server-side Delphi developers is the support for the building of Apache web server modules. Since Delphi XE6, Delphi can generate Apache modules, and this is very good news. The most recent Apache versions are supported, 2.0, 2.2, and 2.4. An Apache module is compatible only with the specific version for which has been compiled. So be sure about the Apache version you have to deploy your module before you create the project. However, it's possible to change the target Apache version by just changing a unit name. The Apache HTTP Server HTTPD is a project of the Apache Software Foundation and has been the most popular web server on the Internet since April 1996. On Windows, one of the recommended binary distributions is maintained by the Apache Lounge community. Go to this site and download the most updated 2.4x version as a zip file. In this video, we'll use the Win64 version, so download that one, please. Unzip the Apache distribution in a folder named Apache24. For example, you can see the path here as C:/dev/Apache24. The Apache main configuration is contained in this selected path. Open it with a good text editor. This file contains all the main configuration and includes a bounce of other configuration files. Configuring Apache is trivial. However, in this video, we'll configure it to let it run our module. Let's start with a very basic configuration. However, the http.conf syntax can be complex, so pay attention to the upcoming steps. Look for the server root. Currently, it should look like this. Change the folder name to this. Warning, we're using a / as a folder separator and not a \\. Also, don't terminate the folder name with a trailing slash. Now, the line should look like this. Look for document root. This path is where static files are placed. Currently, it should look like this. Change the folder name to this on the second line, which is shown here. Look for server name. The server name directive gives the name and port that the server uses to identify itself. Currently, the line is commented as servernameexample.com80. Just after the commented line, add this. Let's test if our Apache is correctly configured. Open a command prompt, go to C:/dev/Apache24 folder, and launch this command. Errors will be printed on the standard output. If no errors have been printed, launch a browser and navigate to localhost. You should get a while page with "It works" text on it. If so, your Apache installation is running correctly. Now, Apache is running in application mode. It is possible to install it as a service with a simple command that we'll see later. A warning is, we are configuring Apache just to run our modules. It's not configured to be exposed on the Internet, so please read carefully the documentation about the configuration, or ask an Apache expert before letting your server go into the wild. Terminate Apache by pressing Ctrl+C, leave the command prompt for a moment, and go back to Delphi. Let's create our DataSnap Web Broker project as an Apache 2.4 module. Navigate to File, New, other than navigate to Delphi Projects, DataSnap Server, DataSnap Web Broker application. The wizard asks which kind of project we're about to create. Select Apache Dynamic Link module and press Next. Then, the wizard asks which Apache version our module will be built for. Select Apache version 2.4. Name it as DataSnap_module and press Next. On the next screen, the wizard asks about functionalities that we need to include in our DataSnap module. Leave the defaults and press Next. At the next screen, select T-Data Module and press Finish. Delphi has created a complete Apache 2.4 module containing a DataSnap REST server. Wow! Now, let's add some features to it. Save the project using the default names. Open Server Methods Unit1.pas, show the designer, and drop on it a TFD connection and a TFD query. Connect the TFD query to the TFD connection, configure the TFD connection to the point at the sample database in the data folder contained in this video. The connection configuration parameters should be simple to this. Go to the code editor and declare these method in the public section of the T-Data module. Press Ctrl-Shift-C to implement the method body and fill it with this selected code. Go to the Implementation Uses class and add the Unit Objects Mappers. It is a unit contained in the Delphi MVC framework project that we'll use to do standard dataset serialization. Build the project. Now our Apache module is ready, but how can we test and debug it? First, we have to put the compiled DLL in the right place. To allow Apache to load our module, it is useful to have it at the same level as the built-in modules. Navigate to Project, Options, Delphi Compiler, and write it in the Output Directory section the path c:/dev/Apache24/modules/, then press OK. Compile the project and go back to the httpd.conf file. Look for Load Module string in the file. You will find a lot of lines with this directive, and many of them are commented. Just after the last load module line doesn't matter if it is commented or not. Add these lines and save the file. Now, go back to the command prompt. Go to the c:/dev/Apache24 folder and launch this command. Go to a browser and navigate to the URL. You should get the DataSnap JSON response from the Apache module just created. How do we debug our module? Terminate Apache by pressing Ctrl-C from the command line and go back to Delphi. Navigate to Run Parameters. Configure the values shown as follows and press OK. Now, Delphi will start Apache for us and we'll be able to debug the module as with any Delphi program. The X parameter passed to the httpd.exe launches Apache in debug mode with only one worker, so that Delphi doesn't need to debug the web server spawned processes. Run the project. Apache will silently start, launched by Delphi, and our module is loaded by the httpd.exe process. Now we're able to debug the module using breakpoints and all the ordinary stuff. There are a lot of concepts in this video. Here are some links for those that want to go deeper. DataSnap is a complex and powerful framework from Embarcadero, able to create TCP/IP and HTTP/HTTPS servers. I've held many training sessions about it and suggest you give it a try. It is present also in Delphi professional versions. DataSnap Overview and Architecture. Tutorial on using a DataSnap server with an application. Tutorial on using a REST DataSnap server with an application. And now, something about the Apache web server, Apache HTTP server security tips. After you've configured and secured your Apache web server, you can install it as a Windows service using this command line. And to uninstall. In this way, you can package a customized Apache distribution to deploy and run your custom modules. I do it very often with my services that need to be published on the internet because Apache is stronger and more secure compared to the Delphi built-in web server based on Indy. To each his work. However, even if in this video we have used a dedicated Apache installation to host our module, you can also use an already deployed instance, and often you will do it. The deployment process is the same. Copy your module in some path accessible from the web server. Change the httpd.conf file to load your module and restart the server. That's it. Cool. We've successfully created DataSnap Apache modules. In the next video, we'll learn how to create WebBroker.